let's talk about Tiger right now. You know, there's so much conversation about what's going on with his swing, what he's working on. You've seen him make at least 3 different swing changes with Butch and Hank and now with Sean. Where is he? What do you think's going on?
Well, obviously, Sean Foley has got some great swingers out there, you know, Sean O'Hare and Justin Rose. And I guess Rose maybe is his prototype as to the way you should hit the golf ball. And I do see some changes in Tiger's swing, and some of them I really like, and a couple I'm not sure of, but I think it's mostly just into the address position. In fact, if you wanted to analyze, I was watching Justin Rose, and one of the main differences I see in Justin Rose's game and Tiger's is Tiger got his hands out there about 2 hand widths here, and then he's trying to work on this new sort of Hogan move where actually the wrist goes this way, and he's trying to chip that way, which adds loft, and he's hit a lot of chips short, which I don't like. But the difference between whether Sean notices this or maybe he's overlooked it is that Justin's hand is 1 hand from his leg, so he doesn't have to make that move. When you're out here, then you're trying to get back in there. So if Tiger would get the hands in closer, then he can keep that club up the line more, which he did with Butch Harmon. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Where, of course, with Haney, he had the hands out here with the grip more up here in the hand here, and he was going out and around, you know, this swing here. So actually what he's working on is totally opposite of what Haney was teaching him. So what a change, you know, to go from out here and around to more in like this, more like a Johnny Miller move, where you have more of the hands under here in this position. So, you know, Tiger does need a lot of reps, but I think he'd be well served if he got his hands in tighter so he didn't have to make that first move that he's practicing.
When you were working on your game, you know, we saw Tiger change his swing from 97 to 99 with Butch, and it took about 1.5 years or so. When you were working on your swing, did you ever do anything as radical as altering your swing and then giving it 1.5 years or 2 before it would perform?
I didn't really, but I was always tinkering with the swing. Even Jack Nicklaus said he was always tinkering with the swing. I had these pages of keys. I got to name some of them wood keys, stands for works only one day, you know. But I mean, they were keys that worked good for one day and then they didn't work anymore. You know how many times the golfers say, I got it now, I'll never miss another fairway, and that works for about one day. But some keys were everlasting keys that you could depend on. I mean, keys like, you know, if you make a nice circle and at the bottom brush on this side of the ball, obviously if you can hit every time and make a good strike, second key would be to really work on where you are at impact, which I think is the most overlooked key there is.
I was just about to say that there's a lot of people that are sitting at home right now that just sat forward on their couch because they're waiting for that one key. What's the one, like your one key that you hung on to for the longest period of time that wasn't a wood key that allowed you to perform that individual sitting on the sofa is going to improve with?
I mean, everybody knows to hit a great shot, you know, you got to hit the middle of the face, otherwise you're going to lose distance, right? You got to pick the right club. You got to factor in the humidity, the wind, how hard the green is, whether it's down green, whatever. You got to figure that out. And then the actual swing, the only thing the ball really cares about once you got that part figured out and you got it hit in the middle of the face is you got to dial in the face where you want it, the kind of shot you want it. And that is pretty much what it is. So what I did is I started really practicing this key right here, which I think everybody out there, if you could do this, and with the brush, would be the 2 most important things you could work on is make a circle with the brush. Right down here, I'll make a brush, boom, like that. And you'll notice the divot is on this side of the ball. It doesn't do much good if you're hitting back here. So that's the first thing. The second thing is to learn to stop with the face square. In other words, stop with the face square. If you can learn to do that, or if you want to draw it, just stop with the face a little shut, or stop with the face a little open. If you get good at that with the brush, everything else is like way less important. There is nothing even close to as important as making a good strike in the middle of the face with the divot on this side, because you have to do a lot of things right in order to do it. And of course, the second thing is to dial that face in anywhere you want it. You can hit any shot you want. I hear about guys getting stuck. The only reason why they say they got stuck is they haven't been educated enough in the second part of that drill of getting the face where it should be.
When you're talking about, you know, stopping the position at impact, basically you're saying impact's the most important thing. What kinds of things did you do, and maybe in your address position, to feel what impact was going to feel like? Was there some sort of a key? Let's go ahead and aim out this way so we can hit a shot. We'll get camera to run around here. And
well, what I tried to do is I got into this when I came on the tour. My dad told me, see who's the best sand player, who's the best chipper, who's the best putter, best driver, long iron player, middle iron, short iron, and then go copy him or ask him questions. And I looked at Gary Player, and he was getting in the bunker, and he was digging his feet in that way and setting like that. And I was thinking, I didn't ask him, but what is he doing? And then I got figuring, well, all he's done is instead of standing here, he returns right to that position. So he's already emulating impact at address. So I thought, well, I'll try that. And I found, man, that really helped my sand game. And then I said, well, what'll happen if you sort of got in like that with chipping and wedge play? And man, that really helped that. And I just started carrying it on through, and I got to about the 5-iron was about as long a club as you can do by really getting into impact. And what I also really worked on was, if you stand in a door jam, put your hand on the wall, right hand, you got to learn this drill of taking it back and hitting the wall, and then notice how much your hips are open, shoulders are open, where your right elbow's pointing, and the thing's right on the wall. If you want to cut it, you just hit this part of the hand first. If you want to draw it, you hit this part of the hand first. So you don't draw that way, you fade it by this way, straight, and draw that way, which is a cover and a trap shot. You know, that's trapping the ball, so that's really important. But at address, what I'd do, if I had a shot under pressure, if I did this technique, it would not go left to right. What I do is I get in there, really brace my knee in here. So it was a brace. I got an impact position here, just right there, and then just take it back, boom, and just hit it right there. And I knew that if I did that, it wouldn't go more than about 10 feet left or right of the hole. I could hit it fat or thin, but it would not go more than 10 feet right or left of the hole.
You talked about this drill, which I love this drill, about making sure that the face, that your palm is either open or closed or square, depending on the shot shape that you're looking for. That certainly brings up the importance of how you hold the club. And I think that we would be remiss if we didn't talk about your thoughts on the grip and how you hold the club.
Well, the first thing is I try to get in this neutral position where my elbows want to be in that natural position. And then I put my hand, without moving those elbows, I put my hands on the club. Obviously, if I'm gripping all like that, I've messed up my elbows.
Yep.
So I'm trying to get in this neutral position, grip it. And I had a very weak grip by some people's standards, but now the modern golfer is going more towards that grip that I used to use, where the V's are sort of at the nose or right ear, right in there. But you want to get in this neutral position. The same way with your body, you want to get in a position where if clubs are welded to your stomach or your chest, they would turn and release. So of course you don't want to go like this, it wouldn't release. Or you wouldn't want to go like that. So you're trying to get, like little clubs are welded, bam.
So now the question is, your belief on the movement of the head or the body. Because there's a lot of debate whether the head should move around now or whether it should stay kind of still. And certainly you went through that experience of the difference between the modern swing and now then the reverse C and all that stuff. Where do you fall on that question?
Well, just to clarify this stack and tilt and the old Ballard swing, and I've studied all those, and I had a little bit of both of them in my career. There's 3 pivot points. People don't know that. You can either pivot right over that part of your thigh, and that could be your pivot point, which is great for short irons. You can pivot right over your zipper, which is great for your middle clubs, and you can pivot over the inside of your right thigh for your driver 3-wood long irons. So there's really actually this pivot point, short irons, this one for middle ones, this one for more power. And if you learn to do that, you can make the same move, but just a little different pivot point.
All righty, we've got to take a little break. We've got more from Johnny Miller. You want to stick around. You're watching The Golf Fix.
It's on The Golf Fix. Here's your host, Michael Freed.
And we're out at the practice tee here at the Arnold Palmer Invitational presented by MasterCard. Johnny Miller sharing some wisdom here with us. And Johnny, it's time for you to answer an email, all right? I get them every week. Here it is. This one's coming to us from Mike Pearson. He says, do you have any drills that could help me learn to take a divot with my irons? I tend to pick them clean, and I feel that if I could learn to take a divot, it would help me be more consistent in my ball striking.
That's a great question, because one of the most enjoyable parts of golf is to just make a dead perfect strike of the ball. I remember asking Fred Couples about that. I said, you know, I noticed you seem to hit it flush every time. What's your feelings? He said, well, I've gone like 5 years without miss-hitting one shot. And Tom Watson told me the same thing. What a wonderful thing to be able to hit every shot right on the button. But the secret to doing that lies in a couple areas. And what a lot of people have trouble doing is they they put the ball too far forward in their stance, and so their brush point is, let's say, here in this area, but they're putting the ball there. So obviously you're going to hit it, like the questionnaire, he's going to hit it thin there or hit it fat. The other thing is what people do, these are the reasons why you can't get the ball in the divot, is you got it on your brush point here, but your backswing carries you off the ball, and then you stay there, now your divot's back here again. The third thing is you can have everything pretty good, but because your body nose is a very powerful element of your swing, is right here, you get in the shot here and you power that up, and now you're going to hit back here or hit it thin also. So if you'll notice, guys that really take a big divot, like a Raymond Floyd, is they actually suck this in here. Corey Pavin does that, sucks it in. Boy, you can really get down and dig some earthworms if you do that. So keep your belly in. But the real crux of the matter, how you really do pull it off with a perfect swing, is right here, and this is the key right here. You'll see you guys chipping on tour, and what they do is they go 1, 2. Tony Lima taught me this, and the handle now is right on top of this line that I drew. So
let me just drop a club down here so that you have an idea of what that line looks like. So that's where.
So it's 1, 2, and you're already right on the grip there. And then from here, you're going to make a perfect brush, because the divot is always where the handle apex is. So if you're swinging out there, out here, and then you get about right here and then release, your divot's going to be back here. So you have to get 1, 2 up to there, and then 3. And if you do that, you'll get, watch this, you'll get this nice brush. You get the nice brush, boom, right there, exactly. You see where the line is?
Yeah, come on, bring that camera in closer here, because you can see that golf ball there, and then the impact point with the ground is well past that.
And you definitely want to do this chipping, folks. That's why guys have that forward shaft lean, and what you want to do is return it exactly back to where you start, which is right there on the leg. I put it right there, down, up, down, and crisp city. So if you'll do that, you'll get the ball and then the divot, and you'll at least be a little closer to being a pro.
So do you spend a lot of time just kind of feeling where the butt end of that club is relative to your thigh, and then feeling that release point going on?
You know, it's funny because your impact position is in the same spot. Doesn't matter if you're hitting a driver, it's right there. In the middle iron, it's right there. And if you're chipping back here, it's still right there. So you should have a starting point that's consistent regardless of what club.
All right, so we got another question. This is nice work, by the way. Well
Thanks.
done. You're hired.
Thank you.
All right, so here we go. This is from Chuck Hipkins. He says, I just was wanting to know if there's a good drill to stop coming over the top. I'm sure that you've had this on the show, but I've missed it, and please would love to see it again. It would be great. Now, this is the biggest problem that the average amateur's got, right? Coming over the top there.
Well, I hope we have time for this, because the problem with golf is a lot like backhand in ping pong or tennis, is that we open the face of the racket or the club, and then you yell kill. So 1, kill. So your thumb's now pointing over here. So in order to offset the fact that you don't know how to release the club this way, nobody's taught you to release the club that way, your idea of squaring it up can only lie in one area. That's play the ball too far forward, and because you want to come down into this position, you just come over the top and that squares it up. So I mean, in reality, you guys are doing
It's a pretty good remedy.
I mean, it's a remedy, but it's a miss-hit glancing shot. So if you want to cure this without going to a teaching pro, which I'm not recommending, all you have to...
By the way, I want to get in there. I'm not recommending that at all either, okay? PGA professional.
I'm going to give you the key to doing this. If you can learn to just stop this stop drill with the club dead shut, just like that, elbow in, dead shut, and just practice that a couple times, and then just hit about 100 of those hooks in a row. Do you see that thing hooking way over here?
Look at that thing turning over there.
And if it doesn't hook, you just stick your shin out like this, and you whack yourself right on the shin. So as soon as you can learn to shut the club face with the elbow still pointing at the right hip, you now will start, because you'll be tired of hitting pull hooks, because you've been coming over the top of it after about 100 pull hooks. Pretty soon you'll say, well, I'm tired of pull hooking. Maybe I will swing more at the target, and now it'll go straight with a little baby hook. Then you just back off, and your troubles are over.
You should be playing. So let me ask you this question.